So today I'm going to be taking out my grandfather's M1917 Enfield 30-06. Now this is a very special rifle. This is my rifle that my grandfather used all of his life for deer hunting. He had a lot of guns that I've used in the past and killed deer with, but this was his main gun, this 30-06. He got this when he was probably in his late teens or early 20s. It would have been probably the early 50s, somewhere around that time. So a little bit of history about this rifle is we're practically already making this rifle for the British in 303. But when that happened, we didn't have enough 1903 Springfields. So what we decided to do was take that 303 British and convert it into a 30-06 cartridge. That became the M1917 Enfield 30-06. Sometimes it's also considered the new Springfield or the Enfield 30-06. Now, the great thing about this gun is it is one of the most accurate rifles during the war. Now, during the war, there were 3 American companies that made this rifle: Winchester, Remington, and Eddystone. Eddystone only produced the rifles during the war only. This is an Eddystone. This is a Pennsylvania-made rifle. Eddystone is located down near Philadelphia in the far southeast corner of Pennsylvania. It was a locomotive place, and they converted and started making rifles during the war. So Eddystone made the most amount of these rifles during the war. This particular rifle is heavily sporterized. This wood would have come the whole way clear out to the end of the barrel. It's got muzzle brake on it. The sights are a little bit different. It doesn't even have a butt plate on it. You can see where they would have kept their cleaner rod in the back. This was added on to have a higher cheek piece on it. So the whole stock has been redone. The whole gun's been redone and sporterized, because what happened was a lot of these rifles after World War I, they remained in service, but not very, you don't really hear about them going into World War II very much. So a lot of these got stripped down and sold to citizens, and they made them their deer rifles. Now the thing about this rifle in particular is that the sights are welded on it. My grandfather, walking these hills right where this cabin is sitting right now, before this cabin was ever here, when he was even younger than me, half my age, really, at this moment, slipped and fell, and the gun cracked off a rock and broke this sight. Now, if you can see, he's got weld right in here. So this whole section right here, this riser, it's all welded. So I'll be taking this out, no sling. This is it. Just gonna be carrying it around in my hand with the tripod, try to shoot a doe with it. That big buck's still running around, so you know if he pops out. So looking at the date of this rifle based on the serial number, this gun was made in 1918. So this gun is over 100 years old. And I have shot it, and I completely was blown away. When I took this, I took this to the gun shop because I was a little bit afraid of shooting this, because my grandfather, it wasn't the greatest on cleaning his guns. You know, this was more like a farm gun. You know, you just throw it in the corner of the truck and just go off. So I wasn't sure how great it was on the inside. I didn't have time to mess with it. And they looked through it and said, yeah, the rifle's kind of pitted, and you know, it'll shoot, but I don't know how well it'll shoot. Well, I took this thing out the day before rifle season, and I had an old steel plate, threw up a target just real quick, just to see at 100 yards. It might have even been more than 100. I didn't range it. I just went out pretty far. What's the furthest I could see through the woods and probably shoot a deer? And that's where I went and shot at this plate. And I was surprised on how accurate this gun was. Check this out. It's the day before rifle season. And I have to videotape this because I am beyond impressed with this this rifle. I'm burning some garbage behind my parents' place, and I was clear at the end of that road. Okay, it's about 100 yards. And there's my little target. And now tell me, with open sights, is that not impressive for the very first shots out of this rifle in probably 30 years, if not more, with a welded sight that was probably re-welded back in the 50s or 40s. I cannot believe this. So there's no excuses. I gave you the receipts. So if I miss a deer with this gun, that's on me. But unbelievable, unbelievable. Just this gun, even though what they said about it, I just got it back from the gun shop. Didn't think I was gonna get it in time. Not planning on using it on opening day, later in the season. And they said, boy, I don't know, you know, the barrel's pretty pitted, and it may not, you know, you're just gonna have to just, you know, I didn't even know if it was in working condition. I was just like, check this out. My grandfather probably never cleaned his gun. They said, yeah, it's in pretty rough shape. And that's what it can do. Unbelievable. Yeah, I couldn't believe I did that. The first 2 shots, and when you're looking through that sight, that peep sight covered up the entire plate, basically, the entire target. So it was just holding steady in the middle of that target, and hopefully a hit, and I cut a hole. Unreal. We're gonna walk out here behind the camp and sneak around. My dad was up on the hill, wasn't seeing many deer. Probably most of these deer are probably bedded down. It's Tuesday, the snow has melted, it's not as cold, so that's my only positive going in today, is I might be able to sneak around a little bit better, because the past few days has been so cold you couldn't walk through the woods. It was so loud and crunchy. But these deer are probably tired and bedded up and held up pretty tight, but that's okay, because if you know your property, you know where deer like to bed, and you know how to sneak up on deer in their beds, that is what I'm planning on doing. And if I don't find them where their beds are, I know where they're gonna be at. They're gonna be where the acorns are. That's most likely where I'm gonna find some of these deer. So I'm gonna get dressed, we're gonna load this gun up, and we're gonna hit the woods. Scanning very carefully and using the creek and the hillside almost like a mountain goat, walking on these steep hot hillsides, just so that my head is covering to look, or my head is just above the ridge to look up, and then using the sound of the creek to muffle my sound of the crunchiness of the leaves. And I'm just gonna go out along this hillside, see if I can sneak up on some deer that normally are in these oak trees out here. And then I'm gonna hit back and go to the big rocks, see if I can sneak down on top of some deer. So that's my plan. Just got a couple hours left and of the day, and see what I can find. I got busted. I got up in here and I'm just sitting here scanning. And I thought, okay, I can't see anything. And literally right in the middle of the briars and everything, there's no way I would have been able to see it. Maybe an 8-point, just inside its ears. Just took off running and went up over the hill. But he was all by himself. And these deer are bedded down and they are not on their feet. The second thing is, I should have seen a lot of deer by now, and I'm not seeing very many deer. So that's not a good thing, because that means there's a lot of deer somewhere, and there's a lot of eyes, and I don't like that. I like the deer all dispersed out, but that's okay, because more deer means they're going to be easier to see also, because they're going to be all together. So my job is to always see the deer before they see me. Deer 1, me 0, and I'm about 1/3 through my hunting for the day. So let's see what the next 2 rounds go. That's from Ron's deer. That's from Ron's deer on opening day, his big doe. His stand is right up there. Does that not look like a deer? But I'm gonna try to get a shot at that doe, if it's a doe. They saw me. I don't know how, but I was just standing here, figuring out what I was gonna do. And maybe my wind went down that way, but there was two of them, just looked like doe. And they just got up and kind of trotted off away from me. So, man, I seen them first, but man, I don't know how they saw me because I thought I was keeping the trees behind me. So, either they smelled me and took off, or maybe I just moved a little bit too much, didn't think that I was. But, all right, well, there's the second half now, final third of the hunt. See if I can capitalize, getting closer each time. First time they saw me, second time I saw them, they got away. Next time I see them and then shoot. So let's see if that happens. Well, I'm gonna try something. Make it sound like some deer fighting over this thing. Maybe this is what I need. Start seeing deer after I was eating these on opening day. This is what it takes. Deer hunting 101, you need these. Wouldn't you believe it? That deer was standing there watching me eat that Christmas tree. I am not superstitious at all. I'm just thinking there's something scientific about it. There must be something in those Debbie cakes that bring the deer in. I was just standing there. As soon as I got done eating that, I'm like, okay, well, should I walk out the road or should I go down over the hall? And I'm looking out there and I'm like, I don't remember a big tree that fell down, and that's a really brown looking tree. Out there maybe 150, 125, 130 yards. And a really nice 8-point. My brother saw that one. I'm almost positive because of the way he described it. Because perfect, nice 8-point, same size that he's been seeing the past couple years in shooting. And he said he was just going to let that one go, let it get bigger. Very respectable buck. But you know, if you want to get the big ones, you got to let those ones go, not just next year, but the year after, and maybe another year too. Trust me, there'll be bucks of a lifetime, record-breaking bucks. Not record-breaking, but record book bucks if you just let them go another year or two. But because that deer went up in there, I do not want to walk out there and bump that deer any further than what he already is. He already saw me, but he didn't know what was going on. Probably wanted that Christmas tree cake, but I already ate it all. So if he tries to charge me, I may have to defend myself. But I think right now I'm just going to drop back down on the bottom again and not disturb those pines. So. Just circled around above me. He's on the hunt for a doe, it seems. So that's good. Now that he's actually behind me, I'm gonna go back out where I just saw him and cut up over the hill, see what I can see. I just walked up to about a dozen deer bedded all beside each other, and I caught the rear end of one, got the camera on, and I look over and they're just scattered everywhere and just took off running. There was a small buck, there was an 8-point. I don't know if it's the same 8-point I just saw, but I just bumped all those deer over to the other side. So in one aspect, if I would have went to the bottom, I'd have never seen any deer, but on the other hand, I just bumped a whole bunch of deer. See, this is why I like walking around in the middle of the week. There's nobody out. I don't really have to worry about bumping any deer to somebody because nobody's out hunting. So this is the greatest time. I could have shot that buck, you know, like I had the camera on, I saw the buck coming, so I knew that there was a buck coming behind that doe. But I mean, if I really wanted to be shooting, I could have shot that buck, if that's the same buck, then twice. So maybe 3 times I could have shot him. He circled around me. So what I'm saying is, you know, if you just got out in the middle of the week, thought I saw a deer, and just walk around, and even though it's crunchy, I'm still seeing deer. Eat those Christmas tree cakes, bring them in a little bit closer, and yeah, see, so there it was. So round 3 is pretty much a bust. I'm gonna walk back to camp now and check out the other side of the hollow. I don't know if I'm gonna see anything over there, but maybe we can go into, instead of thirds, we can go into 4th quarter overtime here. Let's see, on the hunt some more. It's after sunset. This side of the hill is dead. I saw one tail at probably 170 yards. I grunted really loud and got it up out of this thick, nasty stuff. I just, right here behind me, was just standing there, looked over, and I'm like, there's a hunter in the woods. Nope, there's somebody in orange walking the road. It's not a hunter. It's the neighbor. They walk, just for safety, they wear orange. And just as I'm sitting here just looking over, as I see them, a buck below me saw them walking and ran up over the hill. And see that hillside up above me? Yeah, that's where it's at. It looked legal. Looked like would be a good sized 8-point, but nothing real big. So saw lots of bucks. There's lots of legal bucks out there. There's lots of deer out there, but they're holding tight, and it's just when they're in this type of stuff, I mean, unless you just happen to be at the right spot at the right time, you're not going to see them. I mean, you're going to hear them busting out. You're just going to catch tails. And unless you catch them off guard or get to see them first, even if you see them, I mean, to get a shot is going to be difficult. So looks like we got a big snowstorm coming in. Hopefully I get back out when there's lots of snow. Just sneaking through when I get time through the week, and we'll add to this later on. So there's day 1 of my still hunt in the books, and passed up a nice 8-point, pretty good. If I really wanted a deer, I could have shot, but I'm trying to videotape. So all right, literally back off where I started yesterday. Gonna start on this side a little bit earlier in the day and work my way around. Super cold, super windy. We got a big snowstorm coming in. Hoping these deer either stay tight or moving. Doesn't matter to me because the wind is so loud today. I'm hoping that muffles my footprints or my feet crunching on the leaves today, and I can sneak up on these deer a little bit better with the wind, because regardless of the wind, they should be bedded in the same places. So just sneak around, see if, you know, I'm still looking for that big buck if he's out there, but I don't know, nobody has seen that buck anywhere, no pictures of him, but then I don't have trail cameras out there trying to get him, so just gonna be going out and walking around, see if I can stumble upon something. That buck scrape. Buck grubs everywhere. On the trail. Boy, I just don't know where that big buck is. He's got to be holding tight, or he got poached, or somebody shot him and is keeping a tight lip on it. Hard to say, but you'd think that's why they call him the Ghost, I guess. That's why we nicknamed him that, because he's like a ghost. He just appears all of a sudden. You think when you got an idea of what he's doing, he changes it up and he's gone. That's what happens when you get to these 5-year-old deer and older. Guys sit all in the woods all day long and hardly see a deer, having no idea that there could be a monster buck within a quarter mile from them, just sitting and just waiting until nighttime to come out. So, beef jerky break. Not beef jerky, deer jerky. So this is from one of the deer that I shot. I'm gonna sit here, take a little jerky break, and then back on the hunt.
they go. They winded me. My scent was going right up there. This is where I saw that big buck last year when I was sneaking up on a doe, and they caught me off guard. This is a historical spot where deer like to congregate. That is awesome. There's a lot of nice bucks there. There's at least 2 nice 8 points. I think a 10 point. He was smaller than some of the 8s. I was getting all confused, but none of those are the big ones. That's the most amount of nice bucks I've ever seen in rifle season in my entire life, all at one time. But I'm trying to shoot doe. I got 4 doe tags, and I can always use my buck tag for a doe in the late flintlock season. So I'm going to have lots of meat because there's lots of doe. It's not about the antlers. So I want to see those deer get big. You got to let those deer go. It's towards the end of the first week, and I just came through here yesterday, and there was nothing but one small little 8 point that took off. And there, the exact same place where I was out yesterday, almost the exact same time, there's 4 bucks. So just because you go in the woods and you don't see anything doesn't mean that if you go back there the next day that you may see a nice shooter buck. So, but I was creeping up here hoping to catch some deer crossing right in here, but I'm going this way. They went that way. That's good. I want them to go that way, and because I'm going that way, I don't want to get those deer any spooked than what they are, and see if I can sneak up on some doe. They're back in their bachelor groups. I mean, all the doe are together, all the bucks are together. That's sort of the way it was last year when I saw that big buck. So it's one thing to do scouting to try to shoot deer with a bow. It's very easy. That's why everybody's going to get crossbows, and even if you're using a compound, it's easier to kill bucks in the early season when you don't have pressure and you don't. That's why everybody's going to it. I don't necessarily believe that. If you guys have followed my videos over the years, you have seen how many bucks I have snuck up on, okay, in the late rifle season, after the opening day slaughter, after the whole week, even into the last week, the last days. If you're a true woodsman, knows how to walk through the woods and sneak up on deer. That doesn't mean that every time you go to the woods that you're going to walk up and see bucks to shoot. What it means is those deer could be here one day and a mile away the next day, but you are not going to see them unless you're in the woods. So a lot of times, if you really want to walk around, skip opening day. Just wait till middle of the week, or even towards the middle of the week of the second week, and sneak around through the woods. When nobody's out there, the bucks, you give those deer a couple days, they start getting back up on their feet, and look at what happens. But again, you have to understand how to still hunt. You have to be able to sneak through the woods. So many people I see walk through the woods, and I could be standing right here, and they're just and they have no awareness around them. And I don't know what that is, but that may be the appeal of people that just go to archery. You just sit there and you can find rubs and scrapes, and you have the majority of the deer still alive. But try hunting in late season pressured. It'll make you a better hunter. Guaranteed, it'll make you a better hunter. And then go hunt that late season when there's snow on the ground. Hunt that late flintlock season. If you're not doing that, then if it's every year you're going, man, I'm not getting a buck, that's probably a good reason. Because you need to get out there, bump deer, figure out where they go. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. But the only way you're going to get better is you learn from your mistakes. If you're not going out in the woods and you're not learning something every time you go out in the woods and going, what should I have done? And maybe I should have done this. Or take something away, then you're not going to improve as a hunter. You're going to be stuck in this rut where you can't figure out why you're not killing deer. So that's just some practical advice, is just get out there and still hunt. Sneak through the woods. Keep your eyes peeled. Be able to pick out those deer and, figure out where your wind is going and figure out different things. Now, I knew my wind was going that way, but there's no way that I could sneak up to see this spot without my wind going there. So I kind of walk behind me. There's a logging road. You can see it down there. I kind of walk really fast, get up here as quick as I can, without hoping that they're up further. If they're right here on the edge, then they're going to hear me and see me and bust out. But normally they're up there. But every property has several spots where deer like to go to congregate, and if you're not figuring out where those are, you're not learning how to sneak up on those spots when the deer are in there, then you're always going to have a hard time during the rifle season sneaking up on deer. But like I've said before, there's nothing wrong getting out there in the middle of the season. To me, that's when I could have killed most of my deer. So in the past, so far this rifle season, I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 legal bucks. And I could have shot at least half of those. I could have had my pick out of those deer. And they're probably, right now, they're probably at 60 yards is where they were at, so. All right, Vonnie just shot. I'm almost out to my deer stand. Vonnie almost shot. I'm almost out to my deer stand. I pushed 2 buck and a little doe out this way, and then another deer, 2 deer come up over, but they were like running from the bottom and then up here, so he may have probably got one of those doe that was running up this way. I was kind of pushing along here. I was figuring he would shoot, so he's only about 100 yards away from me right now. Let's go see if he got anything. I don't know if I can squeeze a bullet in there. Nice. Okay, come on. Nice. Okay, come on. I see 2 deer laying down up there. I heard the first shot. Nice.
The one way up there's a big one.
Oh yeah.
And then this one here, this one's like it's a not a yearling, but it's a bigger doe, and it come running out full speed and just locked up.
I was halfway out and heard you shoot. I thought, okay, keep going, and I just happened to look, just right there, looking up in there, and I'm like, something looks goofy up in there. I know my woods well enough that something looks like a tree got cut down in the middle of that woods, and I thought, that doesn't
there's no way there's a stump in the middle of that woods. And when I zoomed in and focused, there was 2 big doe just standing there looking at me. And then all of a sudden, I saw a turn and I saw a big point sticking out. I'm like, oh, there's a buck in there. Well, then another big doe come out, but I couldn't tell where his body was. I didn't want to shoot the doe, but I don't know if I could have squeezed a bullet. You'll see the footage. They were just looking through the little things, and that's why I was pointing to you. I was pointing to you. I'm like, they're coming, they're coming.
And when I shot that second time, it was like 3 more run out, and then the buck. And I guess they stop in there for a second, then they keep going. But
Yeah.
big doe came over here, and
Well, I saw a tail go this way, but then 2 went back that way, and one of them was a buck. So, all right, let's go check out the deer.
Okay.
What are you using?
Browning BLR and 30-06.
Nice. So we're gonna go take a
This is
walk.
confidence builder here because I missed one the other day.
Yeah, I heard you missed one. Deer number 1. Yeah. Little button buck. There we go. Where'd you hit that? Right there. Perfect shot. Yeah.
Let me see where I can't see where it went in. This is the side.
Man, that's a big button buck. Thing is huge. There's the trail they come out. This one definitely looks big. Bonnie thought he shot the guts right out of his deer. Yeah, little did he know that that's right where my deer dropped. Something dragged the guts down onto the road there from yesterday. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice cow though.
Yeah. That's a good one too. That looks like right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Good shot. Congrats. There was nothing, and then all of a sudden, bam, bam. And you got another tag left. Got 3 tags. Nice.
Thank you for this deer you provided, Lord. At the same time, forgive us for killing such a beautiful animal, but we thank you so much for giving us this animal to feed our families and spend time in the outdoors. I thank you for Johnny and his family for allowing us to be on the property. I pray, Lord, you bless them greatly. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Let's get down there. I'll get your picture. That was the first one you shot.
Yep.
So deer number 1, 2024, Vonnie's Pennsylvania rifle doe.
Down to the last hour almost.
Yeah.
Going home soon.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Thank you so much.
That shanty is a killing house. I don't know how many deer have been killed out of that thing already this year.
Yeah.
2 deer in 10 minutes. Congrats.
Thanks so much. You're tagged, and now the work begins.
Yeah.
So 3 to 4 days of boredom with 10 seconds of excitement.
Yeah, have your rifle nearby in case the third one, you got one more tag coming.
Indeed.
So, all right, I'm gonna head out, and Juan's gonna get these gutted.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Big doe. See if I can close the distance. I got a buck following her. Looks like maybe one of those bucks I saw earlier. Little 8-point. Let's see if I can close the distance. He's gonna go right up there. He's gonna make a scrape right there. He can't move until he gets out of the way. All right. He busted me. But that's okay. As long as you go the other way and let the doe come out. I'm okay with that. Wonder if it's all those bucks. I'm seeing the same one crawling around. Can't tell.
that's about 150-yard shot right there. Just shoot through that brush. Wouldn't give me a clean shot. Well, figures that the big mama doe would not give me a shot. Now, all the other ones would, but I'll see if I can go up here and sneak up on them again. Could have shot 4 already today. I think one of them might have been 10 point. I probably walked 2 miles today. I can see somebody right now, almost a mile away, sitting out in the middle of a field in a pickup truck. And then I'm heading back to camp. I'm clear on the other side of the property. Right down here below me is Dad's deer shanty. Hopefully it's not too dark in the woods, but I'm coming at a bad angle. Wind's in my favor, but not my line of sight. So if not, I'm going to be getting out late in the week. Tonight or tomorrow's supposed to get this big storm, and I am not even hunting in that. So push enough deer around. I've only shot 2 deer. Give a day letting it settle down. May not even be able to see anything tomorrow anyways. It's supposed to be a lot of wind too. Way worse than what today is. So, all right. There's a shot.
on that other hillside. Middle of the week, some of the guys are still out hunting. I'm telling you, they don't shoot them all on opening day. It's back out on a Friday. I told John Nugent, get up in my stand, try to shoot a doe. I'll meet you up there. I just come up to the tree stand, I see him walking around, and it looks like he already got a deer down. So that did not take very long.
4 total deer.
4 total deer.
One of them was the other big doe. I think it bounced off, but the 2 yearlings or whatever that were with that one just kept hanging out.
Huh.
If you'd have been in the stand with me, you could have smoked one too. I literally shot it through the brush.
Dropped it right there. When did you shoot? Just like...
I mean, I didn't sit in there for any longer than a half an hour. I'm like, well, there's doe. That's gonna happen.
Well,
But-
yeah, you must have shot right when I was on my way here. I just went up, gave the cows a bale of hay, and I never heard the shot, so it had to have been on the way here.
Oh, I literally shot 5 minutes ago, maybe.
All right, let's check it out. What you got?
This is nice. You're back with the real camera, and I don't have to pull out my dinky one anymore. So I thread the needle.
Yeah, you did thread the needle.
There's a pine branch that runs back through. Showed out that side window, came right through here, and it never moved. It's a decent sized doe.
Oh yeah, it is a good size doe.
I'm not mad about it.
The way you were talking, I thought you shot
No.
a yearling or a
Well,
fawn.
When the two yearlings
Oh,
were
so-
hanging out, I'm like, okay, I definitely got mama.
Yeah.
Because those 2 wouldn't just stick around.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, I walked halfway up here, John, before they
No
charted
kidding.
off.
Oh, if I walk around, maybe I'll see one, shoot one, but nice. That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a big fan of a half an hour hunt in a hut.
Every time I put you in there, you shoot a deer in no time.
Well, I'm lucky
Yeah.
with this.
Now, what are you using?
So, friend of the channel, we got to talking. He contacted John contacted me, I got a hold of him. We have a mutual friend from back in Pittsburgh, and you'll know in one of our other videos, John and I sat in that exact hut, and we talked about what guns we liked, what guns, what are the best guns for deer hunting in Pennsylvania. Based on the woods and the terrain that we hunt, 100, 150 yards, unless you're sitting on a power line or a gas line, is pretty much all you need in a deer rifle. My dad got me into 760 Game Masters, and you guys know that I hunt with a 30-06. So, but I always wanted a 308. I like 308. Call me a dumb American. I love 308. And I said it'd be awesome to have a 760 Game Master and 308. Well, a friend of the channel reached out, and he was like, hey, I don't really use this gun anymore. I'd like to go to a good home, and I know that you'll take care of it, and you'll use it, you'll get a scope on it, and you'll use it for the rest of your life. Pass it down, whatever. So, cleaned it all up, did the best I could,
Nice.
shot it, made sure that it held groups, which it does, about 2 inches at 100 yards, which is plenty good for a Pennsylvania deer rifle. And then my dad, I actually put a new scope on his gun because he's getting hard of seeing, and he gave me this Very X2 loophole that I mounted onto this rifle, and as you can see, it is a deer dropper because I didn't even have to
Drops
track it.
right in its tracks. And it threaded the needle. Look at all that stuff it's got to go through. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Yep, that's what 75 yards, you think?
So, in the video that I shot, you guys will see that I took my rangefinder and I went through with you guys and I said, here's 100, here's 150, here's 200. So I said in the video, where you shot your doe with the 303 Brit
Yeah.
is 175 yards.
What?
That's because the big tree behind it. So I showed it in my
Yeah.
footage, the little tree and then the big tree. Looking up the hollow, it's 155 and then 188. And if you're halfway
No
between those two
kidding.
trees, you shot that deer. At
See, I was thinking I was just over 100 yards.
I'd give it 175 yards.
175 with a rangefinder.
Would be my scientific.
Yeah.
Well, then you're
Tracking
probably,
distance.
what, is that 75
this-
to 100
so,
yards?
See the tree right behind you?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
leaves on it? Mm-hmm. That is 100 yards exactly from that stand.
Oh, so
And
yeah,
then
you're about 80
this-
yards.
This tree right here
Yeah.
in front of us was reading about 55, 60. So yeah, I think this is about a 75-yard shot.
Nice.
So 75 yards, hollow point boat tail. This is like another. This is the same ammo I use in another 308 gun of mine.
Yeah.
That Sweeney's dad actually reloaded for me, and it's not the greatest hunting round as far as the projectile itself, but it's 75 yards. I don't think I have anything better to say about it.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. Well, let's roll it over.
Yeah.
Because it was quartering this direction. It was
Yeah.
looking straight towards you with the camera.
Let's see. I look like a high shoulder shot. Probably didn't even come out the other side. I bet it didn't.
Right there.
Right there. Nice. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, it did come out.
Oh yeah. That blood on the other side.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's the exit.
Yeah. Oh,
But I was
that's
facing
exit.
uphill, so
Okay.
it shot upwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Actually, I guess this would be completely level, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
So,
We'll get a tag on it,
Let's
get
get a
some
tag.
pictures, and then maybe get back in the stand.
yeah.
Okay?
I'm trying to buck hunt because I only have 3 tags,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to buck hunt. I want 3 deer this year.
Yeah, you definitely need at least to get a doe down so you got some meat.
Well, I'm gonna take 3. Best case scenario.
There you go.
Snow off his face. Off his face.
John's first 2024 deer,
Yeah, not bad.
308. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep hunting. I was just a couple minutes too late to film John shoot that doe. Surprised that the deer were moving here. I mean, it's middle of the day. He shot that at probably 1 o'clock maybe. He's gutting it now. But I told John that if he wants a doe, we're going to try to videotape a doe hunt with that 308, but I just got an hour late getting out here. I wasn't expecting him to shoot that quick, but John seems to just sit here and just have deer come right to him. It's really cold, really windy. If the deer are on their feet, hopefully I can catch one sneaking through these pines like he just did. Oh, there's a deer right now. Literally, as John's gutting that deer, a deer just crossed the road right up there where I shot my deer. Now, he said that doe had 2 fawns, so I wonder if that's one of the fawns, but, oh, there we go. Man! Man! Well, that was a rushed shot, if I ever had one, and my ears are ringing because I was not quite ready for that one. I think I missed. That was a rush shot because if you guys watch my opening day video, they're boom, 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 and it's sort of like just hurry up, try to steady, and man, I mean, 175 yards, John just told you that's how far those deer are, and covered up the whole side of the thing, and I should have been, I rushed a shot just a hair much. I thought I was steady, but I don't think I was enough, because as soon as I pulled the trigger, I'm like, I should have just waited just a hair second. But I think that was a miss, but I'm going to go up there and check anyways. Good thing we got snow. We'll be able to tell if there's hair or not. So I am going to get out, and we're going to go see if we can get John another doe, see if I can shoot one, just make a big loop around here and see what happens. So, okay. Hurry up. Man! Oh, it's gone. Just be ready. Just cross the road.
I don't see any more heads.
Nope. John's up in the stand. I'm gonna go for a little walk. Boy, it doesn't feel good to miss. It just doesn't. But you're gonna have that now and then. I I mean, I already gave you the receipts. That was all on me, not the gun. We got a deer down here. Now, what is it? Looks like a doe. I gotta be careful there's not more deer down here. That deer moved off. But I gotta see if I can find an opening to take a shot down through there. I can see it down there. See if I can get to that tree. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It just bedded down. I don't know what to do now. I'm skylined up on this hill. And that doe is just bedded literally right beside Ron's tree stand. It's just in the open woods. But I got all this brush in between me and the deer. And I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get a clear shot. I need to just get a better look at that deer. Just make sure it's not a little spike. But I think it's just a doe. I'm just curious because it's all by itself. But I'm gonna make an attempt to stalk this deer. It's probably a 99% chance I'm gonna fail, but I got no other choice. Beside those deer. It looks like an 8-point, but there's another deer standing, so there's at least 4 deer down there. I'm about 100 yards. I have never missed that many times, and I'm getting down to the wire here. I know there's a week left, but I don't know how much time I'm gonna hunt, so I'm throwing lead. And I should have known that this gun was shooting high at 50 yards, shooting downhill, steep downhill. I should have aimed low. It's my fault. I aimed right on, but then again, I wasn't being very steady. I can't feel my fingers. My face is frozen. My tears were coming down my face when I was aiming at those deer because the wind's blowing right in my face, and that's why they couldn't smell me. They couldn't hear me either. So, because I stripped all my inner layers off because I've been walking around so much, and when I found them deer, man, I've been sneaking up on them deer for a half an hour. I am about frozen solid right now. So it was like, as soon as I pulled the gun off, I'm like, I don't know about this, but I'm like, I gotta throw lead. So I figured if I hit the deer, it's gonna be a good shot because where the camera could see the whole deer. If I was going to hit that deer, it was going to be directly right behind the shoulder, neck, head, something. And so I wasn't fearing about hitting it in the guts. But I'm going to walk back out here, see what John's seen. I haven't heard him shoot. Them deer ran towards John, but I doubt he's going to see them. So. Okay, John, get ready, buddy. John, let's go to deer.
Well, it's an afternoon wrap. Well,
Yeah.
kind of. I'm gonna go buck hunt.
You're gonna go buck hunt. He's gonna go back to his property, try to shoot a buck. I'm gonna go back behind camp for the last hour and see if I can kick up a doe.
Sounds good, buddy. Have fun.
Yep, congrats.
Hey,
Let me know if you
appreciate
get one.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, yep, later. All right, there's a nice buck the neighbor got. Just caught him coming out of the woods with it. Looks like that 10 point I saw a couple days ago, and you know, we saw that thing limping, and check that out. Big giant bulge on its back leg, and its whole hind quarter seems to be a little bit weak on that side, so looked like it might have been having a rough winter, but really nice buck, nice 10 point. Second Saturday, and lots of shooting going on. Just filmed the neighbor shoot a 10 point. Just happened to catch him coming out of the woods while I'm heading in. I had to go up and help my great uncle. His gas went out in his house, so I had to fix that. So I'm getting out here a little later today. My cousin was out. He saw a bunch of doe and a small little buck. And some of the neighbors are shooting doe today, which is a good thing. I'm gonna go back and start walking around and try to get a deer with this rifle. I mean, yesterday I was just so cold and the wind was in my eyes. I'm making excuses, that's right. And I just tell you, I mean, you can shoot a whole bunch of deer with guns you never shot before, and then all of a sudden you shoot one that you know you can hit, you know, the dime with and 100 yards. You can't shoot a deer with it, so this is becoming a challenge to shoot a deer with this gun. I tell you what, that thing rang my ears too when it went off, but hopefully I can just sneak around. The sun's coming out, the snow's starting to melt, it's not as crunchy. Hopefully I can walk up on a deer and get a pop shot off and try to get a big doe down. Or maybe see the big buck, we'll find out. Well, there's 2 buck. I'm gonna have to bump them though. He's holding tight, thinking I don't see him. Look at that. Well, little guy, you get a pass today. There he goes. I'm sneaking up on all these bucks, and I can't sneak up on doe like that. I can sneak up on way more bucks than I can doe. I don't know what it is. The only thing I can think of is all these bucks I'm sneaking up on are young bucks. And the does that are out there, there's been a lot of doe shot. They're smart. They're old, smart doe. And they're more of a challenge and more of a trophy to me than shooting that little buck. So keep going. This is awesome. Seeing deer. First 2 deer walked up right while they're in their beds. This is the second Saturday. All right, I got doe above me. She's down right there. Awesome. Yeah. That looked like a big doe. Awesome. Yeah. I was able to get a rest. Literally, right there where those rocks are is where those 2 bucks were bedded. And this is where I walked up the other day and saw those 4 bucks with that 10 point. That right in the exact same location. I'm telling you, this spot here, if you've followed my videos, this should be recognizable. It's when I come out this road, there's this line right here. If I'm not on this line, if I'm over here or I'm over there 20 feet, I have to be right in this line. And when I pop up here, them deer are usually right in here, and I just sneak my head up real slow, and I caught some brown. So I got my gun ready, I got everything. I lifted my head up real slow, saw there was a big doe there. There was no other deer behind it. So I just set up the tripod, then I walked over here, snuck down, got over to that tree right there, and I took my shot. You can see my footprints right here. And I just had a little tiny window. See, it would have been right in through there to shoot, is where it was standing. So I just had a little window. I knew if I hit the deer that it would be a good shot, and if I missed, I'd have hit the tree. So there's no chance for a gut shot or anything. Yeah, I'm so super pumped right now that I just shot a deer with my grandfather's 1917 30-06. Let's go up, take a look at it. I'll tell you why these deer are here. Big oak tree, big red oaks. And look at them, they're just digging down here, looking for acorns. This is all tracked up in here. I would say, again, I said yesterday about 50 or 60 yard shot up in here. Oh, she was standing right in here somewhere. Right there's blood and hair. I just remember seeing that thing jump up in the air, come down here, hit that log. I remember her flopping over that thing. Tried going up the hill. there. Oh, perfect shot right behind the shoulder. Double lung. That's a good sized doe. She ain't a big horse doe, just a good sized doe. And I am happy. Amazing to be shooting deer with this thing. This is so awesome. 2024 doe number 3. Awesome sneaking around in these big woods in the snow, middle of rifle season, using Grandpa's old M19 1730-06 Eddie Stone. Awesome. Iron sights have been welded on since the 50s, possibly early 50s. And man, just want to thank God for such a blessing to be out today and providing more meat in the freezer. All the glory and honor go to him. All right, now I got a lot of work to get this thing back out of the woods, but there's doe number 3. 3 more tags left and a buck tag. All right, see the Audi right there. A little bit back. Boy, I thought she was quartering to me just a hair. But, all right, well, there you can kind of see the flight path of the bullet. Pretty good. Now if I can get this thing out of the woods, because I am about a mile from the truck. Dragging my deer. Just jumped a little buck right here below these big rocks. Oh, that's a drag. Halfway to the truck. Definitely really easy with the snow. So this would have been a lot harder without snow. There's just less than an hour of the first week left on the second Saturday. I'm gonna try to go get number 2. Let's go. What an awesome view. Lots of shooting last night on the other hillsides away from me. I'm gonna sneak down over here, and then when I hit the woods it'll be too dark to shoot. So that's it for my 2024 first week of the Pennsylvania rifle season. Stay tuned for week number 2. Look at that. Look at all these deer. Figures they're all out in the neighbor's cut soybean field where he can't even shoot them. They know.